Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Texas City Tells the podcast. My name is Ramari.
I'm Jennifer.
And today we have Brandon Williams. He is the managing editor for the Post newspaper.
Thanks for inviting me, ladies. I'm glad to be here this morning.
Yeah, thanks for coming. So can you tell us a little bit about the Post newspaper?
Yes, the Post newspaper was established in 2003 by its founder and publisher, Mr. David Day and his family. They moved to Texas City in 2006, and it is where we've been on 6th Street since then. We are approaching our 20th anniversary in November, so that's a huge milestone for us. The paper is completely different from what you see from most newspapers in the sense that we don't cover the controversial stuff. We don't cover hard news or anything. Our focus is to remind people that there's a lot of good in the community. It's a Christian-based newspaper where we focus most entirely on the people of Galveston County. We look for the interesting stories. We look to highlight students. We look to highlight just completely all of the good that the other outlets aren't covering.
I love that.
Absolutely. What is the address on 6th Street for the Post?
It is 501 6th Street. Once upon a time, it was a jewelry shop. And I remember this because I was born and raised in Texas City, and my grandmother lived about 2 blocks away from where I currently work at. So I do recall as a kid growing up, especially during Christmas time when 6th Street was pretty active, you would see the Christmas lights and everything, the old J.C. Penney, a lot of the other stores that were there. And I always remembered the jewelry store. And when I first started working there a few years ago, first thing I saw was the vault. And I was like, oh, as a kid, I thought I'd never see that. I always wondered what would be in the vault. But when I finally got a chance to get into it about maybe 2 years ago, so no jewelry or anything like that, no surprises. But it was a pretty fun experience, probably on the low end of the bucket list, but I did achieve going into the vault.
It counts. You still get to mark it off the list.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful building.
Mm-hmm.
It is. There's a lot of history behind it. It's got to be at least 70, 80 years old. And there are rumors, and I will say rumors, that perhaps that there are ghosts in there. And that, sometimes when you hear a little bump or a thump, or sometimes when the wind opens the door, we like to joke that maybe it's an old employee dropping in.
To give you the scoop.
Yeah, give us a scoop to remind us, or maybe they want to take a walk through and just take a look and see how it looks today.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they're trying to get in the vault too, like you.
Oh, maybe. maybe they might tell me what was once upon a time in the vault.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you were born and raised here, right?
Yes, it was.
So how does it feel to be here and telling the stories of the community where you've lived your whole life?
It's amazing because life has always brought me back to Texas City. I went to college at Southwest Texas State in San Marcos. Worked in Houston for a number of years, then went to work at the Galveston Daily News. I was sports editor there for a couple of years. Got to the Houston Chronicle, worked there 3 years, and then I headed off to Oregon and then Washington State. I was in Seattle around 2014, and my mom got ill. I didn't want my sister to have the pressure of being a mom, working, and everything like that. So it was one conversation, and it was an easy decision for me to come back from Seattle to be my mom's advocate the last 3.5 years of her life.
It's amazing.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.
So you said you were a sports editor.
Yeah, so I was sports editor. Sports has always been my thing. When I was a kid, I had 3 goals in life. Once I realized that being a pro football player wasn't going to happen, I wanted to work in newspaper. Number 2, I wanted to work at a major daily, and number 3, I wanted to have the opportunity to have my story on the very front page of the newspaper. So I was able to achieve that when I got to the Houston Chronicle in 2007. I had a story on my first 3 stories that ended up on page 1. I'll never forget that I was at a bagel shop just grabbing a bagel, and I looked and I saw my name. I was like, whoa, wait, that's me. So I just quietly grabbed it, and just sprinted home. It's like I lived about 2 blocks away. I sprinted home, tore up the stairs, got on the phone, was like, Mom, I did it, it's page 1. So she was always my big fan, and she kept virtually all of my stories. It's like almost anything that I wrote, anything that's in the newspaper, she clipped it.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. So since you've been back here, what's your favorite story that you've either covered or that you've seen? Do you have any favorites that come to mind?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I have a true favorite. There's so many, so I don't want to single one out. It's been an amazing run since I became editor in October of 2019. And it's been, like I said, it's been an amazing run, even through the pandemic when things were thin and there were moments where we thought that maybe we might not make it through. But somehow through the grace of God, we were able to do so. If I have a favorite story, goodness gracious, I would be here all day if I talked about the stories. But we have an amazing features writer, Ruth Ann Ruiz, who has done a ton of amazing work. She came to us in February of 2021, and she has brought so much life to this newspaper with her feature stories that we're just greatly indebted to what she's able to do. I want to also mention the fact that Jamie Megris, who is our design editor, she has constantly done an amazing job of putting the paper together each week. We've got a tremendous chemistry between the two of us to where it's almost like clockwork, knowing that by noon she's going to get what I want on each page, and by around 5 o'clock she produces magic.
So does the paper come out weekly?
We come out twice a week. We come out on Wednesdays and Sundays. It's a free publication for those who want to pick it up. We do offer subscriptions, 3 months for $25 or a year for $100. But if you just want to pick it up at the places like Foodorama or post offices throughout in Texas City and also throughout Galveston County as well. Some of the government buildings, we enjoy people picking it up. We enjoy getting the feedback from the work that we do.
Absolutely. And I know you guys are really active online and on social media too. Can you tell people how to find you there?
Definitely. We are thepostnewspaper.net. We put up the paper on Tuesday evenings online before it comes out on Wednesdays, and we also do it on Saturday mornings as well. So newsflash, if you're able to get this information, you're able to get it before people pick it up on Sundays. We are also on Facebook. We do have a very active Facebook page that our membership is growing with each edition. We cover Texas City primarily, but we also cover Lamarck, Dickinson, Santa Fe, Hitchcock. We also do a lot of coverage out in Friendswood and also in the League City area. We like to consider ourselves Galveston's newspaper. My mindset that it's not our paper, it's your paper.
That's perfect. I love that. So if people have a story idea or they know of a really great story in the community, how can they reach out and suggest that for you?
Oh, there are a number of ways that you can. The first way would be calling us. Our number is 409-943-4265. Just leave a message there. Or you could email me. My email address is Brandon, Brandon, at the Post Newspaper. I'll always have to remind people it's the Post Newspaper. You got to remember that "the" in front of it. thepostnewspaper.net. You can email us there, and those are the two spots you can go. You can also email our publisher, Mr. Day, at publisher@thepostnewspaper.net.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much, ladies. I totally enjoyed it. Appreciate the opportunity to come out and speak about the paper.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you to the City of Texas City for sponsoring this podcast. Thank you to Mr. Brandon for coming in to talk with us about the Post newspaper. You can catch new episodes of Texas City Tales on the city's website, Facebook, YouTube, or wherever podcasts are streamed. If there's someone doing amazing work in Texas City that you would love for us to speak to, please recommend them in the comments below. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.